How's it going, guys? In today's video, I wanted to explain a little bit further in detail how biodegradable products actually work. So when biodegradable products are thrown into a compost, they break down. Biodegradable refers to the ability of things to get disintegrated or decompose by the action of microorganisms such as bacteria or fungi while becoming part of the natural environment. This basically means the product needs to be able to break down completely. If you think about it, most things are biodegradable in terms of eventually they will break down, right? If they sit out long enough, they will disintegrate. But generally speaking, biodegradability and compostability and all these confusing terms can get really unclear and the definition can vary. However a product is labeled, it's really important to do some further research and figure out what that really means. This could mean looking for a definition from the company on their product or website, at least a more specific definition, or just something to clarify that the item and the company itself are actually a sustainable company, not greenwashing you, all sorts of stuff like that. And if you have access to a local composting system, I really suggest looking for the words compostable rather than biodegradable, because often that means it can fully break down and is made of fully natural sources, whereas even a plastic bag will eventually biodegrade. It's also important to check for a specific amount of time of how long it's estimated to take to break down. So let's cover biodegradable versus compostable. While compostable is less generic than biodegradable products and it's a faster process, the primary difference between compostable and biodegradable is that compostable products require a specific setting in order to break down, whereas biodegradable products break down naturally. You need to make sure you have the right conditions to compost. Luckily, most of the time, that is still possible in our backyards, but if not, it's nice to have access to a local composting facility, like I said before, or just enough space to allow things to break down over a long period of time. While a biodegradable product might completely break down into earth, compostable products are specifically organic matter, which breaks down and then actually benefits rather than just becoming nothing. When something composts, it can help for fertilization and improving soil health. Overall, composting has more benefits, but biodegrading has less negative effects. So, if this kind of stuff is confusing you, which it's confusing me as I'm saying this, but you can check out all the resources linked below to read about it yourself. Let's talk about how they help the planet, because obviously these are actions I contribute to. I definitely compost and I use biodegradable products as well. So when we don't use compostable or biodegradable products and they go to a landfill, they take much longer to decompose or break down. Almost all products eventually somewhat will break down, but that would produce a lot greater amounts of CO2, methane, and fossil fuels. I have talked about the impact of those greenhouse gases in past videos, but simply put, those gases easily get trapped in the atmosphere, specifically the ozone layer, and slowly but surely they will heat up the earth to temperatures that we really can't live in. I think one thing we should also discuss is the downsides. While an item might say it is biodegradable, the product might not be clear enough that it actually does require a facility to break down. These earth-friendly products also tend to be pricey, and they're still not super circular because as they break down, whether they help soil or not, it's only doing so much. It's still much better to reuse, or if you can, first reduce. Let's talk about paper products versus bioplastics. So many paper products, like a brown paper bag, right? That's biodegradable. But often these things that we think are just pure paper are coated in wax or plastic or some kind of toxic chemical and ink that makes them much less beneficial and more harmful. But other than that, you can biodegrade paper pretty easily. It's pretty simple. On the other hand, plastic is not typically biodegradable. We've all seen those charts that say, oh, this takes 10 years to break down, this takes 100 years, and then they show a picture of a bottle and they say this doesn't break down. And it wears out, but there will always, those microplastics will always exist. And it wasn't until bioplastics became a thing that plastic wasn't biodegradable. So bioplastic or biodegradable plastic can be broken down completely into water, carbon dioxide, and it can even be composted by microorganisms under the right conditions. In most of these items, biodegradable is implying that the decomposition happens within weeks to months, usually up to 3 to 6 months. But again, that can vary depending on the company. While compostable plastic composts in a composting facility or a composting site. And recently, it's been really cool to see bioplastics being used in typically just single-use products, such as packaging or containers, straws, bags, and bottles. It's really cool that there are biodegradable options. But I think one thing that's hard is, unless it's very, very clearly indicated, we don't know, is this made of a bioplastic or a regular plastic? And often we have to make the assumption it's a regular plastic, because most things are. And it's completely useless to put a biodegradable straw in a landfill. Other biodegradable products, according to my research, include PLA and PHA plastics. I do want to say the research I did said that it's not always guaranteed that these will always be biodegradable, especially because if they're mixed with other plastics, they wouldn't be. However, they do have the potential to be made with all organic and natural materials. Of course, food scraps can break down. You can find soap that's biodegradable, paper towels, toilet paper, newspaper, or even clothes or towels if they're made of products that are biodegradable, like completely organic cotton or hemp or bamboo with nothing else. I don't know if this answered any questions for you or if it made you have more questions, but that's kind of the goal here, to just get you guys thinking about this kind of stuff, asking questions, and then giving you guys the resources to figure out the answers. If anything, maybe this told you a little bit further of how these products work and how they compare to other products. It's definitely not a simple topic, all this bioplastic and composting and biodegradable stuff. So please keep asking questions, leave them in the comment section, stay curious. If you made it this far in the video, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Alright, so if you feel like it, share the video so you can teach other people about biodegrading stuff. Okay, and composting and all that, you know. Okay, for now, peace.